Hi everyone and welcome to Homerino Collectibles, where today I'm going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Gambit from the Caliban Build-A-Figure wave. But this isn't any normal review, no. I am going to also be comparing it to this guy. This is the Toy Biz Marvel Legends Series 4 Gambit. I do actually have all of the accessories that this guy came with, so I haven't actually done an individual review of this, so I'll kind of count that in with this video. So we're going to be taking a look at both of these figures and seeing which one is better. Now, at this point in Marvel Legends history, there weren't Build-A-Figures. And being as this guy right here does not come with a Build-A-Figure piece, you do not need him to create this Caliban Build-A-Figure wave. So they are the perfect comparison because neither of them come with Build-A-Figure pieces, so you can't say, well, one's better than the other because it, forms part of this figure. So that is going to be a great comparison. If you want one of these guys for yourself and anything else from the wave for that matter, you can do so at Big Bad Toy Store. Check out the link in the description below. I love the look at the artwork on the side of these boxes. Everything from this wave fades down to this kind of bright yellow down the bottom there. Looks fantastic on the back. I love how we get the kind of, comic style rendering on the back instead of just a picture of the figure. That's very nice. I love it when they do that. The bio on the back reads that Remy is an ex-thief from New Orleans with the mutant ability to convert energy and cause objects to explode. And down at the bottom there, we have all the other figures that you do need to create the Caliban Build-A-Figure. Cannot wait for some of these. I mean, it's basically a Jim Lee wave. You've got Jim Lee 90s Gambit and Beast, and then you've got Bishop right there, along with that Jubilee. Weapon X, one of my favorite Toy Biz figures, in fact, possibly my favorite Toy Biz figure, which I actually still have in box. I will actually compare to that one, but I might actually just keep that in box now, seeing as we have that Wolverine. But anyway, let's get to this review right here. Let's get him out of the box and take a closer look. And here we have Gambit out of the packaging on the right, and then the Toy Biz version, the older one, on the left. And as you can see, both of them do look really fantastic. Both of these figures are absolutely incredible renditions of the character, and both of them have very unique body molds. Now, as you can see, one major difference is that the coat used over here is obviously in cloth, and over here we have a plastic one. This one, you can see, it has some frayed ends inside here. It ain't perfect by any means. You can see, there's a ton of stitching, and there's also a ton of stitching that is, on its way out. There's lots of loose ends, lots of, frayed ends right here. Clearly, this thing was, played with or well used at least, and it's not the kind of thing that you're going to want if you're going to want something to last forever, especially if you're giving this to a kid that's going to play with it. On display, it doesn't really matter all that much. This one, you're going to get a much more kind of dynamic look out of it because it's molded and sculpted. You can get a lot more natural looking crease lines and stuff in there, even though it's the less natural material of the two for what the actual thing is. And it's going to last a hell of a lot longer. Now, yes, this is a reused part. It is much better than, the original one that came out with Nick Fury and Punisher recently, like we saw with Multiple Man and some others. It is a thinner material now, so it is much easier to get that hip articulation going and not hindering the figure whatsoever, so you can still get great articulation with this. But obviously, this one does allow for more articulation just overall. Plus the fact that this thing can actually be removed, and he does have some, paint and molding and stuff underneath on those arms. So this thing can be removed. However, this one does look better. So we can say that for the coat, it's kind of evenly matched. If you want that kind of Toy Biz, older, classic kind of vibe, then this is definitely obviously the figure to go for anyway, because, well, it is a Toy Biz figure. Again, I actually can't get this thing out of his hand. There we go. But it's just got that kind of classic look to it. It's got that very early Toy Biz look. However, the head sculpt here, if we take a look at this close up, I mean, that does not look early Toy Biz at all. This is actually a really fantastic looking face sculpt. And that hair there is really nicely sculpted. It's got lots of paint detail in there as well. The eyes are done pretty well. I do think that the skin tone is a little bit off. It's a very strange looking skin tone, very tanned. Looking at the head sculpt on the new guy, though, oh my gosh. I mean, look at this thing. That hair is incredible. The eyes, you can even see those the red in the eyes there. That looks awesome. And the way that they've actually given him a little bit of stubble here as well, it looks so natural. I mean, this thing looks amazing. We also do actually have a bit of a dark wash in the hair as well. So, yeah, they're kind of mixing the best of both worlds here. It's awesome. As for the rest of the bodies, you can see that the purple on the new one is much, much more vibrant, kind of more pink, actually. This one has a kind of a silver kind of touch to it, which looks fantastic in its own right. You can see as well the blue here is very dark. It's got a lot of washes on there, and the detail work in it is actually very deep, so the wash does go very deep, which does darken the color of that quite a lot. Whereas this one over here, there is markings and details. They don't go as deep, and there's no wash, so it's very, very vibrant. This guy overall is just a much cleaner and better looking figure. But that doesn't mean to say this one's bad in any means. It's really, really awesome. So let's take a look at the accessories then. They do both come with a staff, and they are pretty much the exact same thing. This is the older one. It is warped. It was warped when I got it. I haven't sorted that out yet, but they are both very, very thin. They actually feel like they're pretty much made of the same material and pretty much the same designs and everything as well. You can see lengthwise there's only a little bit in that. The older one is just ever so slightly bigger and does have a wash. The new one doesn't have a wash, but I do feel that the new one can warp just as easily, to be totally honest. So looking at the hand for the newer one, it does have a left hand that resembles the older one very, very much. Definitely do like that. So they both get the plus point for having this style hand. This one obviously does have the fingers that can clamp and move. That was the same case with a lot of older Toy Biz figures, so that is pretty damn cool. And the older one also has this accessory right here for the playing cards. We have the 4 aces, and they're just spewing out with all this energy right here as he's throwing them at his target. It is a kind of red translucent plastic, and it looks very good. It is very awkward to get him to hold. The joints are very loose now on this figure, both the wrists and the fingers. Like, they're not super loose, but when you try and get him to hold something as big and as heavy as this for them, then yeah, it's not the best, to be totally honest with you. Compare that with the accessories on the newer figure, where we have a single playing card, which you can actually slot in between the 2 fingers very, very nicely. I really do love that. I think that looks absolutely incredible. This just works so much better. However, you can't see any detail. It is just completely translucent pink. There is no ace on there, which is one thing I absolutely adore about this, the fact that you do actually see the details on those playing cards. So I think that in terms of looks, this one wins out. But in terms of practicality and use, this one wins out with the newer figure, because it also has this as well. So we have this hand that is throwing 3 cards, and then it has the swooshing effect as well to show that he's, in motion right there. I think that looks really, really good, and there's just so many uses for this thing. I think it looks great. I definitely do prefer this hand because you can do so much more with it, and it's more iconic. And I just prefer him, holding this. But yeah, I think that in terms of accessories for the figure itself, new guy wins. However, the Toy Biz figure came with a comic book in the package as well as a base. Now this base even has a wall hanger right there. It has multiple ports for standing a figure on, so you got a peg over here, a peg here, you got a peg here, there's a peg down here, and there's probably a couple more that I haven't noticed off the top of my head, but as you can see, this is basically a fallen sentinel, and yeah, so you can wall mount this thing and wall mount your Gambit, or you can put it wherever. And I think there's a few other figures that came with bases similar to this as well, so you can have a big X-Men, Sentinel battle going on, and this was just amazing. Just think, this figure would have been a normal price of a normal Marvel Legends, and it comes with a base that looks like this. This is what they did before they did Build-A-Figure pieces, basically. They all came with awesome bases, and remember, all through the Toy Biz series, or at least I think actually all the way through, you got comic books or at least poster books in some of them as well. So you did used to get more for your money. We are getting better looking figures right now, and we have a lot more interchangeable accessories and stuff. But in the olden days, I mean, look at this. I mean, this is a love for action figures and a love for the figure form. So in terms of what you're getting, I think if you can get this one, fair enough. I mean, it comes with an amazing accessory piece. It's kind of hard to hold. An epic base as well. And then the unique, kind of coat here that you can actually take off. This guy, I think, is going to be better. He's just more sturdy for posing. He looks more striking. He's more vibrant. He's going to last longer because this is plastic. I think the style on this guy, it's just more striking, he's more modern, and I think this is just the better figure. Overall package, if you can find one of these with everything, obviously a comic book, a base and stuff, I mean, I'm almost inclined to say go ahead and get this one. But if you don't have any Toy Biz figures at all, and you have just a purely Hasbro collection, this guy's going to fit in much better. And, I mean, let's face it, we're reviewing just the figures, really, not the whole package. And in terms of figure-wise, this guy definitely wins out. But let's take a look at the articulation anyway. And to start it off, we'll start at the head. So the head looks up, down, left, and right. At the shoulder here, comes out to the side and rotates all the way around. You have the rotation and the single joint there at the elbow. Rotation and then the single joint in and out at the wrist. We have a rotation at the waist. At the abs here, they do move back a little, but the coat does kind of restrict it. It does crunch forward just fine though. Hips move forward, a little bit back, a little bit out to the side. Rotation there at the upper part of the thigh. Double jointed knees. We have a boot cut right here, which is on the Toy Biz one, which is pretty cool. The feet do move forward and back, and we have the pivot there down at the ankles as well. Now, as for this guy, head moves up and down much more. You got the left and right. The shoulders come out to the side, but they also have, it's kind of like a butterfly joint, but it moves up. They can get kind of stiff. That one's stiff there on the right. You can see it moving there. It allows the shoulder just to come out that little bit more, and also just adds to that V taper as well. So a tiny little bit more articulation. It's not really needed. It's not as good as a butterfly that goes forward and back. It just moves up and down, but it does raise the shoulder belt and looks a little bit more realistic, I guess you can say. You do still get that full rotation, however it is limited in the coat unless you want to tear the coat. Rotation at the upper part of the arm, you have the double jointed bicep there, and then you have a rotation, I think, yeah, it's a rotation at the midpoint of the forearm right there, and then you also have the hinge, and then the hinge at the fingers. This one does, close down onto the staff just fine, so this one's obviously a gripping hand, which I would prefer just a static hand for something that grips, because over time it's not going to have as good of a grip, and it seriously cannot hold this thing anymore, but never mind. As far as the ab crunch goes, this guy, because this is material, can crunch all the way back and forwards. Rotation there at the waist. At the hips, we have better articulation in the legs forward and out to the side and to the back. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, so on this guy, these purple bits here are molded in. On this guy, they are painted on, but they are painted very well. We have the double jointed knees. As I said, we have the boot cut there as well. This guy's actually very stiff, but you can see it does do it. Forward and back about the same as the new figure. Ankle pivot isn't actually all that much, but it is there. But we do actually get the toe hinge on this guy. Both figures do have the peg holes at the bottom of the feet as well. So I guess it's down to you guys. Which one do you like more? They both have a place in my collection. I collect both Toy Biz and Hasbro Marvel Legends. So this is the best Toy Biz Gambit, and this is the best Hasbro one. So I love both of them. This one as a package is way better. And I love the cloak and just how kind of classic and retro it looks. But then this guy just, it really is the superior action figure as a whole. So I love this guy too, and he fits in with the more modern figures. Honestly, might be one of the best Marvel Legends figures that they have made so far this year. It's just so awesome. Likewise, this was one of the best from Toy Biz, and with it being Series 4, it was one of the earliest as well. But yeah, remember, there is about a 15-year difference between these two figures, so the fact that this one still looks so amazing in comparison, damn, Toy Biz were some pretty sweet action figures back then. But yeah, let me know which one you guys like the best, and if you can't quite decide like me because you like both of them for different reasons, then let me know what those reasons are in the comments below. But thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a like, and for more from me, check out the videos that are on the screen at the bottom right now. For more content from me, check out what's in the description below, and remember, I'm going to be reviewing the rest of the Caliban wave after this video too, which will be coming up over the next few days. So stay tuned and subscribe for more Marvel Legends reviews. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.